Hello everyone, I'm Professor Lu from Taiwan Tech BA Department. So this week we are going to learn data types. Supposed to be data structures, but sometimes people get confused, so I need to first explain what means data types. Actually, we already learned data types next week. So data types, you can consider the most commonly used three data types. The first one is integer, means a number without a decimal value. And second, float. Float means a number with decimal value, like 3.14. Sometimes we call it float. And if a number like 3 or minus 10, we call it integer. So they are different. And another is more like a word, a combine of word or symbols. It's not number. We call it string. So remember, when you write a code, no matter what variable, they all consider belong to only one type. For example, now I create a variable x. I use equal to assign value to x, and then you can use type, the syntax type, to check the type of the variable x. Okay. And last time I also teach you can use integer bracket, float bracket, string bracket to transfer different type. For example, I have a variable x equal to, assign 10.95 to variable x, but I can use integer bracket x to transfer the value to become integer, then stored in variable y. So you can see this one. So although I create a new variable with the value 10.95 and transfer to integer, so the decimal value will be cut. We only keep 10, so 10 will be saved as a value of variable y. So if you check the type of y, you can see it will automatically saved as an integer variable. However, variable x still have the value 10.95, so it's still float. So you can use these three syntax to transfer different type into integer, into float, into string. You can practice this part. Very important, very commonly used. Okay, next one. We also learned we can use plus or multiply those symbols to deal with string, deal with numbers, but the result is different. If the variable is an integer or a number, after times 3, for example, 10 times 3 becomes 30. But if it's a string, times 3 means repeat 3 times. Okay? That's all the things we already know. So those concepts, we call it types. And today we're going to learn data structure, a little bit different. In Python, a lot of different data structure like tuple, like set. If you watch other videos or read the reference books, you may see tuple or set. But today I'm more focused on the most commonly used two structures. The first one is list. And list is an ordered sequence of elements. That means we have a lot of elements. They can be integer, they can be float, or string, or even boolean, or another list can put in one list. So consider that if you have a list, means it's a sequence of different elements to save in the same name, to save in a list with the same name. For example, I want to create a list called IMDb Top Movies. IMDb is a database, a movie database. They have some evaluation. So as I know, the top 5 movies is those 5 movies. So I can save them in one list and call the list IMDb top movies. So after I create this list, next time if I want to check the content, I can use print to check it, or even directly type the list name. It will show in the output. Okay, you can see if you use print, the result is slightly different to directly type the list name, a little bit different. If you use print, it will show in just one line. If you use output, it will separate the 5 content into 5 lines. It depends on you. Based on your preference, you can choose which one you like. And also, one thing important is the length. We already learned the concept. LEN means length. Means how long of the list. So we want to check the length. So we use length with the list name. So we know the length of IMDb top movies have 5 elements inside the list. Okay, let's move on. We call it index system. Okay, so if you want to check just one component in the list, you can use the list name with a bracket. Okay, first of all, I want to explain the term of bracket, because in Python there are 3 types of bracket. So you can see we have 3 different brackets. Okay, in this class, based on my preference, I call this one large bracket. This one is middle bracket, small bracket. So we have 3 types of bracket. Okay, so when you use print, you go with small bracket. But when you want to provide the information of the index, usually we use middle bracket. Okay, so if I print without middle bracket, that means I want to see all of them, all the content in the list. However, if I go with a bracket, that means I just want to see one of them with the index 0. Okay, so if you still remember last time, I already introduced you about the index system. When you learn the index system, you can consider the index number is actually between or before or after the element. For example, the right places before the Godfather, we call this place 0. After Godfather, this place is 1, and so on. This place is 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 0 to 5 is the index you can use to help the computer know which range or which places you want to run your code. For example, I want to print IMDb top movie with the index 0. So if you see the index 0 is just before the Godfather, so after you print IMDb top movie, index 0, it will show the right element after your index. Similarly, if you want to show the Godfather Part 2, think about it. What will be the number? 0, 1, 2. So I need to use the index 2 to show the Godfather Part 2. Okay? You can try on if you are not familiar with it. You can try to use different numbers. Okay? And also, when you use the index, there's another system we call reverse index. It's kind of like use reverse number. So now we have a list. You can consider the last place is 0, and you go one step to left. So this place become -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay, so if you understand it, if I want to show the Godfather, what will be the reverse index you need to use? You need to put here. Think about it. Okay, if you understand it, it's supposed to be -5 or -5 because 0, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So -5 is in the place and the element just right to -5 is the Godfather, so it will show the Godfather. So similarly, if you want to show Inception, what will be the number? Think about it. 0, -1, -2. So if I want to show Inception, I suppose put -2. Okay, so that's it. You can practice and to digest the content, help you to fully understand the index system. Okay. But actually in the list, the full index system actually go with 3 components: the start place, the end place, and the separate, or some people call it a jump step. Okay, so for example, if I want to show the IMDb top movie, all of them, the initial value is start with 0 and end with the total length. For example, the length of IMDb top movie, I already know it have 5 components inside it, so the initial value is 5. Or if you don't put anything, it will consider as the initial value, and the separate, consider as 1, so it will show all of them. Just like if you don't put bracket, it will show the same thing. So they are the initial value, the default value. If you don't put anything, they will consider start with 0, end with the total length, and the separate equal to 1. That means show all of the content, don't skip any of them. However, if now we want to change the value, for example, the standard way is like this one. If I change the start point to 1 and the end point to 4, you can see they look different. We start from 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we start from 1 to 4. It's included only 3 movies. So it will show only 3 movies. Okay. Okay, if I change the separate to 2, that means, okay, maybe I should use the same start point and end point. That will be more easy to see. Okay, if I change the step from 1 to 2, that means every time I move, I need to jump 2 steps. So we start with the Godfather and jump 2 steps. So the second I show the Godfather Part 2 and jump 2 steps. So the third one will become Fight Club. Okay, so now you know the second place is the separate, or some people call it step, means how many movement. Okay, and I just want to remind you again, although in the index system, the 3 places, you can control these 3 places. You can put different value based on your need, but even you don't put anything, the computer will follow the default value to run the code. So even you don't put anything, it still understand the value. It will still put the default value in those places. Okay, so that's the index system in list. Okay, let's move on. So we already know how to create a new list. However, if you already have a list, you just want to add some new element. For example, I already have IMDb top movies. The list, we already have it. But now we want to put a new movie. The Dark Knight is about Batman, I remember. Okay, so now we have 5 movies in our list. We want to add one more. You can use the syntax append. The syntax append means you add the value you put in the bracket in the latest place. So after I append the Dark Knight, if I check again, you will see before you append the Dark Knight, you have 5 movie names. Now you add the Dark Knight, use append, it will put in the latest place. Okay, that's the first syntax, use append. Another way to add new content into the list is to use insert. The good part of insert is you can specify the position you want to add the new element. For example, I want to add a new element. The movie title is 12 Angry Men. I want to put in the second index. So, okay, let me do it again. Now after add the Dark Knight, so currently I have 5 movies. So the first print will show 6 movies. So the index system 0, 1, 2. So this place is 2. So I use insert to add 12 Angry Men in the position number 2. So position number 2, the index 2 is here. So I will put 12 Angry Men between the Shawshank Redemption and The Godfather Part 2. So you will see the second print is the result after insert. So you can see there's a new movie put between these 2 movies, or you can call the original index 2 position. Now we insert a new movie, 12 Angry Men here. Okay, so remember, if you want to add new element, you can use either append or use insert. Okay, you can maybe stop here and practice a little bit to help you more familiar with the syntax. Okay, since we have add, we suppose also learn delete, or we call remove. So to remove any content in the current list, the first way you can use remove. Just use remove. So for example, before I remove, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 6 movies in the list. Now I want to remove 12 Angry Men. So you use the syntax this name dot remove bracket. In the bracket, you put the content you want to remove. So after you run this code, you can see the 12 Angry Men be deleted, be removed after you run this line. So if I print again, the new list without the 12 Angry Men, it looks like that. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I have only 6 movies. So 12 Angry Men be removed. The second way to remove is pop. Okay, so you can see this one. The standard way to use pop is like this one. So I want to print twice before pop and after pop. So that will be easier for you to understand the meaning of pop. So after you use the pop also go with a bracket. If I don't put anything, that means they go with the default value, means the latest one. So before I pop, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 movie, and the Dark Knight is the latest one. So if you use pop, that means it will kick out the last one. The Dark Knight gone. So now we have 5 movies. And more advanced way to use pop is you can put a number. It's the index you want to pop. So for example, I want to kick out the Godfather. So I put the index 0, so the Godfather gone after I use pop. And similarly, sometimes the pop, the more advanced way to use pop is you can store the popped element. You can put the element to become a value to a variable. So for example, I use A to receive the pop value. So after I pop, the pop element is the Shawshank Redemption, and I use A to accept the value, the string. So you can see after pop, the new list now have only 3 movies. The Shawshank Redemption is gone, but it's become the value to save in the variable A. So if I check variable A, you can see the output is the content be popped. Okay, so we go back to the topic again. So if you want to remove element from a list, you can either use remove or use pop. And when you use pop, you can specify the index, the places you want to pop. And you can also use a variable to accept the pop value and use them to do other things. Okay, that's all the content I want to share with you about list. Now we move on to the second structure. The second structure I want to share with you is dictionary. So in dictionary, each of the elements go with 2 parts. The first one is key. The second one is value. So 2 parts. The first one is key, second one is value. And to create a new dictionary, I want to share with you 3 different methods. So the first method, you can use the large bracket and put all the keys and the values together here. And it's unlimited, actually unlimited. So if you want to put a lot of elements, you need to follow the sequence. 1 key, 1 value. 1 key, 1 value. Or you can say first key, first value, second key, second value, and so on. So for example, I want to create movie one with 4 components. The first key is title, second key is year, third key is director, last key is writer, and also each go with their values. After I doing that, you can see now I have a dictionary. And the dictionary in Python, to show that it go with a large bracket. That means dictionary. And if you want to check just one of the elements, for example, I want to check director. The director is actually the third key, so I put the key. If I want to check the movie one, the director, the key, you put the key here. Then you can print, after you do print movie 1 with the key director. You can see it will show the value stored in the places with key is director. Okay, a little bit hard to explain, but actually the third element, the key is director. So you use the key is director. So use the key to help you to check the value in the place. So you need to remember the key. So if you want to check the value stored in director, you need to use director as the key to check the value in the place. Okay, the second way to create a new dictionary is use the syntax. DICT means dictionary. So movie 2 is a dictionary. I tell computer it's a dictionary. And the same way, you go with the first key, first value, second key, second value, third key, third value, and so on. And after you create it, every time you want to check, you can use the key to find the value stored in the place. For example, I check year, so it will show movie 2, the value stored in year is 1994. Okay. The third method to create a new dictionary is to zip two lists. Zip means put them together. So first of all, you need to prepare two lists. The first one I call keys. The second is values. So I have four keys about a movie, and also the values supposed be keep in those keys in those places. So after I create these two lists, I can use zip to combine them and save as a dictionary. And the dictionary's name is movie 3. So after I doing that, I have a dictionary, and dictionary name is movie 3. After I have the dictionary, I can put keys to help me check the value stored in those places. Okay, here you can stop a little bit and play with dictionary and try to use it and try to create a new one. Try to do it, can help you better use dictionary later. Okay, last one. Because last week some student asked me, I already teach you how to use the print to go with the percentage symbol, right? Do you remember? We can use percentage symbol to combine different value into it. For example, this one, right? Yeah, okay. For example, I put hello world. But in the middle, I want to put insert the integer 10. So you can combine them. That's the print format I already shared with you. But I also tell you there's another format, widely used format system. It goes with the large bracket and also the syntax format. So it's something like that. You print, okay. You use print, you prepare a string. So you have the citation symbol to put a lot of string inside it. But also you can insert different variable into your printed string, like this one. Oh, I forgot to give value to S1 and S2 first. Okay, so after I give value to S1 and S2, S1 is hello, S2 is world. So I can, when I print, I know I want to combine them as a string, but I prepare two brackets in my string. The first one will be replaced by the first string I put in format. The second bracket will be replaced by second string I put here. So after combine them, it's become hello and world. But more advanced way is to assign the index, because in the bracket after format, I only have two variables. So S1 supposed to be 0, S2 supposed to be 1, so it will show the same result. Similarly, I can show them reversely. So I first go with S2 and then S1. That also work. Or even I can, to combine the way I like, you can show them multiple times. That also work. That also work. Okay. That's the content second print format I want to share with you. Okay, one more thing you may consider. Now I just share with you how to combine different strings, but consider those variables maybe can be integer or even float. To combine them, you follow the same logic. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So bracket 2 means 10. Bracket 3 means 3.14. So it will show follow the sequence you put them. Okay, so even you switch them, they will find the correct content you put in related places or something like that. You can practice it, or you can maybe consider to do my practice I assign to you, the practice I assign to you. In Chinese, we also have tongue twister. Okay, I guess most of you are learning Chinese. So in Chinese, this tongue twister is 四十四十四十十四四十四四十四四十. Okay, my pronunciation not good, but anyway, I guess you can, even you don't know how to pronounce it, you can see there are different components, there are different words. So consider that now I create 5 strings, and because they are keep repeated, right? So can you use the format to print a result like the content I put here? So I already start a little bit, put a little bit, so you can see the first 3 words already be put here. So maybe you can combine with other content to finish them, and I hope you can figure it out how to use format to show the whole tongue twister here. Okay, that's all the content I want to share with you in this video, and I will share more syntax about list, about dictionary in our physical class. Thanks for your time. See you in our physical class. Thanks.